Hey guys, welcome back to Coin Knowledge. So today I want to go over 3 super degen micro cap, low cap altcoins in the RWA sector because I do think that RWA is going to be one of the hottest sectors this cycle, along the likes of AI, gaming, DPIN/DPIN. And again, one thing we do always highlight about RWA is that there's not that many projects in RWA as a sector compared to stuff like gaming, even AI, even layer 1s, layer 2s, it seems like these days. RWA is a pretty condensed sector. I mean, really, they have, for the most part, all their projects listed on one page. Now, that's not to say that there's more projects upcoming and launching. We're only talking about, obviously, projects that have a live coin they can actually invest into if you so choose to. And as always, nothing I see in this video is financial advice. And if you guys get value out of content like this, if you guys can consider subscribing to the channel and liking the videos, your support means a lot. Now, when we look at RWA as a sector, why I'm so bullish on it is, one, it's already ran once throughout this cycle, and right now we're about 50% about the market cap where it was earlier in 2024. And that's not even to say that the fact that they have Avalanche in here and that's a $12 billion market cap, and I don't know about you, but I personally wouldn't put Avalanche really in RWA specifically. So that alone makes up a third of where RWA stands right now at a $30 billion market cap. But again, as we go down the line here, not that many altcoins in RWA, so it's not that hard essentially to find projects in the sector compared to other ones. Now, when we look at some of these altcoins, again, this is not me saying that these are my top conviction picks for RWA. I'm not saying to go throw your life savings into these. These are completely degen. They could go to zero the cycle. They could do nothing, be overlooked. I'm just letting you guys know that if you're looking for a degen, super low cap RWA pick to kind of ride the wave of during an RWA pump, these are some options that could be thrown into the hat. If you have other options that top these in that $10 million, $5 million circulating market cap, please comment them below and I'll give you guys my opinions, if not do videos on them. And as always, let's get into it. So we look at the first one. We are looking at TRUFlation here. Now, a couple things I do want to highlight a little bit further in depth for TRUFlation, why I do like it. What they focus on is really just decentralized infrastructure for RWA metrics. So they do kind of keep pricing metrics of different items in the real world assets. So, but the biggest highlight, what does separate this out of a lot of other altcoins of this smaller market cap, again, sub 10 million on the circulating side, is that they actually are backed by Coinbase, which means that it could potentially get a Coinbase listing later on in the cycle. Now, that's never guaranteed. Just the fact that they have Coinbase backing them or invested in them does not guarantee that Coinbase will list them, but it does give them that slight chance to see a Coinbase listing. Now, obviously, they have other backers as well. They have pretty good stats here as well when we look at it. Now, good website, and that does mean something, especially in the space whenever retail or new investors do come into it. When we take a look at the co-founder and CEO of Coinbase, what he said is that TRUFlation is a decentralized service that tracks inflation. TRUFlation is an awesome project, which is why they chose to support TRUFlation. So that does show that Coinbase is aware of them, obviously, and that they're also bullish on them as well. Now, that is the website, kind of what TRUFlation, what they're going for. When we take a look at the price action, it is obviously launched earlier this year, as most of these altcoins have, but we'll go over all of their alt charts. But they did launch earlier this year, back in April of 24, and they have kind of just been down since. So, especially when we look at their all-time high, they're down about 94% from that 91-cent range. Now they're sitting at about 5 cents with a fully diluted of 55 million. Now, when we go over to Crypto Rank, we can actually see that they do sit really closer to about a $10 million circulating market cap here when we do look at them. And for those that are wondering, we can go to backed by or funders and backers, and we can actually see not what I meant to click on, but if we go to fundraising, we can see who's actually put their money behind this project. So we can take a look at the fact that they do have some pretty good backers here. I mean, you can tell right there as well, and you can see kind of what the initial raised was. So we look at it, they've raised quite a bit of money in the past, especially for a lower market cap project. They have raised a good amount of money here, but when we take a look at their vesting schedule, one thing is that they do daily vesting. They do daily unlocks. Now, it's not that big of an impact, I believe. So when we do take a look, we can take a look at the fact that they are a $10 million circulating market cap right now with about 19% circulating. Now, when we go down here, we can take a look at the token allocation and the fact that really a majority of it is for the ecosystem / community, and the team does get 13%, investors 25%, and advisors. So the team and advisors is 15%, with investors making up the other 25%. So nothing crazy there, I believe, but pretty straightforward breakdown. Now, if we take a look at December 1st of 2025, again, towards the end of 2025, where people do believe that the altcoin or that the bull run could be coming to a close late 2025. Now, obviously, time will tell if RWA does pump as a narrative, when it pumps, what catalysts are going to be happening that, again, could make it so we see that. So only time will tell there. But if we take a look at that, with their daily unlocks, we can take a look that really the percentage that will be out will be about 44% with a $24 million market cap. So that means that we're looking at really a little over a 2x, but like a 2.2 or 2.3, just call it a 2x in dilution between now and the end of 2025. So really not that bad. I mean, we're not looking at something that, is a 10x in dilution, because those projects are out there. But in my opinion, this dilution is very minimal. And another thing that is worth making note is that they are multi-chain, so they actually are on a few exchanges. If we take a look back at their CoinMarketCap listing, one thing is obviously they have that Coinbase backing, but they are on Base, so they're on Ethereum, Arbitrum, and Base. I do think Base as an ecosystem is going to be a pretty hot ecosystem and hot chain this cycle, alongside stuff like Solana. So I think when people do, look at all RWA coins, and if Base is a hot narrative, they will combine those two if RWA does prove itself to be a hot narrative this cycle. So the fact that they do have that Base, listing, that they're on Coinbase, or they're on the Base blockchain, I should say, is a pretty bullish sentiment or attribute that I think that does go to the project. If we take a look at their exchange listings, now this is why I do really like this project as a low market cap play in the RWA space, is that they have the Coinbase backing, they're on Base, they're multi-chain, and they do have pretty decent exchange listings for the market cap that they sit at. They're on Gate.io, KuCoin, Mexi, and then obviously you have the different dexes, but they've already shown to have a couple centralized exchange listings, which, again, if we circle all the way back to having that Coinbase backing, they could show that they could have a Coinbase listing later on in the cycle. Now, if we take a look at the 1 month, they have been down quite a bit. Again, if we go back to that 1 year, they kind of just been in this downward price action. So, we take a look at the all-time low. It was formed an hour ago. So this project hasn't found a bottom, in my opinion. Obviously not financial advice. I do think Truflation does have room to keep going down. Now, I could be wrong there, but if you are looking for an entry point into this project, I would wait for it to finally find a bottom, hold a level for a couple weeks before maybe taking a position. Please don't FOMO in. Realize that the market cap is around 10 million. It's small, but it's not that small where you're going to miss the boat immediately, if that makes sense. And I don't think RWA is going to run, anytime soon this year. Personally, again, could be wrong, but that's my opinion there. Now, if we take a look at the next project, we actually are looking at Home 3 HTS. This is a pretty degen project, mainly because their exchange listings are mute. I mean, they just have Uniswap. They're only on Ethereum. They only have a DEX. They're at also a very small market cap. Their website isn't as in depth as something like Truflation. It's pretty straightforward. They also focus on real estate, as a lot of RWA projects do. If you go to About Us, they have 2 team members that they show off here. So, nothing crazy, but, it is, they do have a docs team, one could say. They do have a pretty straightforward website, and it is something where if you're looking at it, this is a decent degen play. Now, one thing I would definitely highlight is that this project has ran a lot, obviously, here over the 1 month. It has ran quite a bit, so I would definitely not be jumping into this project at all right now, as it has done pretty much a 10x, between now and the last 60 days. It's done about a 10x, So definitely wait for this to cool off if you're looking for a degen play. I would definitely wait for it to cool off, but it does show that there is some attention in it. I don't believe any major news has come out. I think they were doing some updates to their app. If we take a look at their Twitter here, we can see that they have a small following. They haven't tweeted a whole lot this year. Again, this is a super degen play. They are, again, updating their app. That could be the potential of what is going on here, but Home 3 is another degen microcap pick if you're looking at the RWA space. And there isn't that much dilution if that's the accurate market cap. But moving on to WeCoin. Now, WeCoin is pretty easy to study because if you look at the chart here, the chart doesn't look that bad, honestly, especially for the fact that it's been out for well over a year and it has pumped several times. It generally does pump with RWA. So when we took a look back at RWA, when the last time RWA really pumped and peaked over the last year, it was at the end of April or end of March, early April. Now, if you take a look at WeCoin, WeCoin did very, very well right at that time when RWA was pumping and peaking out. Now, it won't show me the market cap here on CoinMarketCap at that time, but we can take a look at it. It did from about 0.0067. It did about a 5 to 6x in a very short amount of time, in about a week or two period. So it did pump quite a bit, and it does seem to pump every time there is a little, sign of life with RWA. So WeCoin is something that if you're looking at a very low market cap play, I would definitely take this over Home 3. But Home 3 is one that has been performing. I just wanted to, highlight it here. But again, wait for it to cool off. Now the team is out there. I think they've done AMAs with other, people in the space. And the website is, again, also interesting. They say they have these partnerships here. They're focusing on tokenizing, real world assets, just tokenizing items as well. And when we look at the company, now one thing is that they do, seem to have a docs team as well. So that is something that, again, you always want to point out. They do have a docs team, but WeCoin is a decent project. I mean, the website, it has a straightforward website, has a docs team. They've been around for over a year. They obviously haven't rugged right now, but same thing as Home 3. When we look at their exchange listings, they only have Mexi and then obviously a DEX. They are on Binance, which I don't mind the BNB chain, but I do think it's not one of the more bullish chains going into this cycle, especially when we bring it back and compare it to stuff like Solana and Base and newer, ecosystems like Sui, even, or stuff like Ton. I don't think BNB is going to be that hot of a cycle, but it does have low fees. But to only have a Mexi listing, for being out for over a year is a little concerning, especially since they've pumped multiple times. They're in a hot narrative. I would expect them to have maybe other listings like KuCoin, Gate.io, kind of like tier 2 or 3 exchange listings, just something else, for being out this long. I would like to see more exchange listings, which is why I would only ever trade this coin. I wouldn't personally hold it long term, but as always, you do you, not financial advice. Just letting you guys know my stance on it. I do think if you're looking for a super degen, low market cap pick in RWA, WeCoin is not that bad, just for the sheer fact that they've been out for quite a while and they haven't rugged and they've responded well every time RWA does pump. But their exchange listings is a little concerning for the length of time that they have been out. Now, when we go back through them all, we do have WeCoin, which is a decent degen pick. Then we have Home 3, which is just one that it's super speculative. If this thing can go back down to its previous levels, then it could be something maybe worth looking at a sub $1 million market cap, but it does have to cool off massively, but just wanted to bring it to your guys' attention. And then Truflation is one that I'm actively looking at, but I am waiting for Truflation to personally find a bottom and hold that support level for a couple of weeks. Just hold a price action because it is forming an all-time low almost daily. So this is not one that I would personally be wanting to try to catch a falling knife on, because if we look at the chart, just between now and July, mid-July, it is just going down every single day with those daily unlocks. But the vesting is getting to a point where it's really not that bad as far as dilution between now and the end of 2025, with about a 2x in dilution, as we looked at previously with their vesting schedule. So that is worth making note of, is, for the most part, their vesting is getting better, obviously, with those daily unlocks. So if they can just hold out a little bit longer, I do think that there is potential with Truflation, especially with the Coinbase backing if it does get a Coinbase listing, and with it being on Base, if Base does choose to be a hot ecosystem. Obviously, all this is really setting on the fact that RWA does pump again and proves itself to be a pretty hot narrative this cycle. Not just a little pump, but like a mega pump for RWA. We need some major catalyst to come through the door for RWA as a sector, really for it to do well and perform. So that's a couple picks. Again, this is not saying that these are the best picks across the board, but I just wanted to highlight a couple RWA picks under that $10 to $5 million market cap range. Ones that, we can study their charts a little bit, that have clean websites, that have docs teams. That's what we wanted to highlight here. So let me know in the comments below, guys. Are there other RWA altcoins, again, in that $5 to $10 million circulating market cap range, or even beneath that we're missing here, that you would have subbed out, or what your stance is on any of these three projects, or if you believe that RWA is going to be a hot narrative, or do you think it was a one narrative that pumped earlier on in the cycle and is not going to surpass those previous all-time highs? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you guys want to support the channel, it's an optional way of doing so, or finding out what I'm doing. I do have the Patreon linked below, or you can get into the Discord. And if you guys got value out of today's video, if you guys can like the video, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, or share the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, see you guys.